Hello everyone, Nancy here with A Joyful Cottage. Thank you for joining me today, and if you're new to my channel, I want to give you a very warm welcome. Today's video is a bit of a departure from what I normally do. It's a kind of a potpourri of things. We're going to start off in the kitchen where I'm going to make a batch of healthy cookies, high in protein, good for you, no added sugar. And then I'm also going to work in my craft room on a picture frame that I purchased at the thrift store. I'm going to give it a paint job, give it a bit of a makeover. And I'm going to create some Christmas decor with that picture frame. I'm also going to show you a few things that I picked up at the thrift store for Christmas. And maybe some things will inspire you today. I hope so. So without further ado, let's get started. The ingredients for these cookies are 1 medium ripe banana, a 1/4 cup of whey protein powder, 2 tablespoons of almond butter, 1 cup of quick cooking oats, and this could be rolled oats, whole oats as well. Doesn't have to be quick cooking. And then we're going to put in a mix of golden raisins, dried cranberries, and dried cherries. I like to use dark chocolate chips made with stevia when I have them, but I don't have them today, so we're going to put this fruit in it instead. So let's get started. These cookies are pH balanced, which is good for your gut, and they have no added sugar, as you can see, just what comes from the banana and the berries. So I don't think that these would be considered healthy for a diabetic. I know you probably have to worry about sugar from fruit, but if you don't have to worry about that, and you don't want to eat a lot of sugar, cane sugar, or other kinds of sugar, then these are the cookies for you. And these are very easy to make. So I'm just mashing up the banana. And then I'm going to add the 2 tablespoons of almond butter. I eat a lot of almond butter. I don't eat peanut butter. I eat almond butter instead. I do have osteoporosis, so I treat it with natural foods and supplements. And this recipe came from Save Our Bones, which I belong to that program. And the thing that I like about that program is they offer recipes to use and that use a lot of the foods that are healthy and good for us. So this is a recipe now. I've been making these for about a year or more, I guess, and I try to keep these in the house all the time. I especially like to take them to work for a morning break, because they are pretty healthy and satisfying. They're good with coffee or some other beverage. So we're going to mix up this almond butter and the banana. And then we're going to add the protein powder. Get this mixed up really well. I've made these with just plain raisins. I've made them, as I said before, with dark chocolate chips made with stevia. Those are really good. And I'm going to, let's see, what else have I tried? I've tried putting nuts in them, and that's always good too. Everything is mixed up really well. And then we're going to add the fruit. And I'm just going to kind of add as much as I think I like in my cookies. A fair amount. I think that was less than a cup. It's really to taste. It doesn't matter how much you put in. Okay, so these are ready to drop on a cookie sheet. And I've got a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper. And I'm going to drop these cookies on there. Let's see if I can get this all in. Okay. This recipe does make 12 to 14 small cookies. They keep them very well. If you refrigerate them, they'll easily last a week or more. Of course, mine don't last that long because I take 3 to work with me. 2 for my break and then 1 for dessert after I have my lunch. So I have to make these about once a week if I want to keep them in the house, and I'm fine with that. They're easy to make. They whip up fast. I love cookies, brownies, cookies, anything that I can eat with my hand, I guess. I like dessert. I don't eat a lot of it just because I try to limit myself for health reasons, just to stay healthy, not eat a lot of sugar. So that's what I like about these, is they're all natural. Some people really don't like the taste of whey protein powder, and I get that. It does have a distinct flavor. I'm used to it. I make a lot of smoothies and such. But honestly, I don't think you can even taste the whey in these cookies because of all the ingredients, the banana and everything else. So all right. The other thing I like is most of the time I have the ingredients I need for these cookies in the house. I don't have to run out and buy the stuff for it. Like I said, I keep whey protein in the house because I use it for smoothies and for these cookies. And then I usually have some kind of dried fruit on hand, raisins or berries or something like that. And oatmeal I always have. Almond butter I always have. So, I don't have to run out to the store to buy the ingredients for these cookies. I have them in the house. And and it's very easy to just whip up a batch and bake them. So they're ready to go as soon as my oven is preheated. I'm going to preheat it to 350. I'll put these in the oven and I will bake them for 13 minutes. I've baked these cookies at 350 degrees for 13 minutes. And now I'm just letting them cool before I take them off the cookie sheet and put them in my storage container. Now the cookies are cool and I just put them in a container that I can put in the refrigerator. And the nice thing about these cookies is they don't spread out, so wherever you have them placed on the cookie sheet, that's pretty much where they're going to stay. So you can see how big your cookies are going to be, and there we are. There's our homemade cookies. It takes about 5 minutes to stir it all up and then another 13 minutes to bake. So in less than 20 minutes, you've got roughly a dozen cookies. And they're healthy and they're good for you and they're delicious. I found this frame at the thrift store. It was originally $4.99. I got it for half price. So basically $2.50. And it's got some chippy places in it. It's not in great shape. But I'm not worried about that because if you know me, you know that I like things chippy and worn anyway. And I am going to paint it. I am going to paint just this portion here, going up here. I'm not going to paint the inner piece here. It's probably resin. It looks like it's brass, and I like that. And my plan is to insert this sheet of music, this hymn, inside, and I think that the brass will set it off really well with, I'm going to paint this portion white and distress it, so I think it's going to set this whole, excuse me, I think it's going to set everything off by painting it white, but leaving this will go well with the vintage look of the music. So that's my plan. I'm going to start out by giving this a coat of shellac, because I'm pretty sure that this will bleed through the white and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to shellac it first. This frame did come with glass. However, I broke the glass when I was cleaning it, trying to get some residue off it. There was a family photograph inside and it was stuck onto the glass, and I tried to get it off with by soaking it and also using some Dawn detergent, and then I used some Goo Gone, and when I was scraping it off, it just broke. So I'm not going to worry about that because I don't really need the glass anyway. I was just going to use it because it was there. But I'm going to do this project without glass, and I think it's going to look just fine. So I'm just putting this coat on. And I'm going to paint this portion as well. So I'm going to put some shellac on that. Now this does dry clear, so there's no worry about getting it in some spots where you maybe didn't plan on putting it, so it's going to be fine. I like the detail on this frame. I like all the extra little enhancements. I think it's going to be perfect for the project that I have in mind for Christmas. All right, so we've got one coat on there, and we're just going to let that dry. All right, so I've let the shellac dry. It's dry now, so I'm going to put one coat of Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white. And I'm sure I'll have to put 2 coats at least on this. I switched to an artist brush to get the beaded area because it was just too hard to try to get in between those little spots with a regular brush. So I'm using an artist brush to get in there. And that seems to be working pretty well. I will be doing some distressing on this piece, so I'm not too worried about full coverage. We'll see what the first coat looks like and go from there. So I'm going to finish this off and then we'll let it dry. Well, as you can see, I changed my mind and I'm painting that bronzed area of this frame. And that happens sometimes. You go along and you have an idea of how you want to do something, and then after you've done it, you've changed your mind. You decide you wanted to do things differently. But I just felt like there's so much great detail on this section that is not showing up without being painted. So that's what I'm doing. I'm painting it. And I think it's going to look better. Anyway, it'll be to my liking. Not everybody might like this look, but I like it. The nice thing about, or maybe the good thing about doing crafts, doing your own DIY, is that you can make it yours. You can do what you like with it. If you want to leave it all wood, you can. If you want to paint it, you can. If you want to paint part of it, whatever you fancy, you can do. And sometimes you shift gears in the middle of a project, just like I did. But that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it interesting, and that's why I do what I do, because I don't worry about whether I have to do it a certain way. I do it my way. And like I said, not everyone is going to like it. But you know what? If you like it, it's your project, and you like what you did, then that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. You have the freedom to create what you like. So I remember Bob Ross used to say that with his little trees and little people that he put in his paintings. It's your painting, you can put a tree in there if you want to, or a bunny or a squirrel or whatever you like. You know, it's your painting, so you paint it the way you want to. And it's the same way with DIY projects. We do it the way we want it to be done. I can tell already that I like this. There was something about white paint on raised areas of a piece that, or any kind of paint, I guess, but any color paint, but I think especially white, just kind of brings out that detail. And that's a very pretty detail at that. Looks like I have a mirror in my living room. Maybe you noticed it in all the tours that I've done in my home, all the video tours. I have a mirror that I created out of a couple different frames. It was a mirror, and then I put it inside a frame. I think 2 or 3 frames. I can't remember exactly. I did a blog post on it. Anyway, I love that mirror. And of course, it's one of a kind. There's not going to be another one like it because I created it. And that's the same feel I get with this. It looks like a frame within a frame. But it's all one piece. I mean, it's created to be one piece. I have to look at the back to see exactly how it's put together, but I think it's just all glued together. Maybe all one piece. I don't know how they do that, but anyway. I'm rambling, sorry. All right, so I think we got this on there. I think we got this paint on there. And we'll just let that dry. So I put a second coat on the frame, and I went ahead and painted the insert. And now I'm just going to take a 220 grit sandpaper and do a little bit of distressing on the sides. Now I've got the frame distressed to my liking, and I have this Carol that I've printed off, an Etsy download. I'll leave the link in my description box if you're interested in finding this. I think I paid less than $1.50 for it, and so you get a downloadable, printable download, and no special paper. This is just 8x10 copy paper. So I'm going to put this inside the frame now. Just taking a little bit of a break here, having a little snack, having one of my cookies. Very good. This is a dense cookie, so it's very satisfying. That's really good with coffee. Okay. So now I want to show you what I got at the thrift store recently. I've been looking for some Christmas things. I didn't want to spend a lot of money this year, just a few things that I wanted to get. So I picked up this red candle holder, and I think I paid $2 for it. I want to add more red to my Christmas decor this year. I did that last year with some things, and I really liked that with my neutral base of color palette here. I like the way the red kind of pops, so I wanted to see if I could find a few more things. So that's one thing I picked up. I also picked up this tin piece, and piece, P-I-E-C-E plus P-E-A-C-E, and I'll use that in some vignettes. Then I found this, it's actually silver on copper is what it says on the bottom, which I thought was really interesting. So I think it's kind of a vintage piece. I don't know. It doesn't have I think it's a sugar bowl. It didn't have a top with it. So I'll use it somehow for florals or maybe a Christmas tree or something like that. So I picked that up for, I think it was $2 because it was half off. Then I picked up this scarf, and I found this at Goodwill. It's a pretty scarf. See that? And I'll probably hang that on the hook in my entryway for Christmas. And I may use it as well. It's very nice. It's in great shape. And I got that for $2.99. Then I was really excited to find this because it's actually a sham, a Euro sham. But I love stripes and I love ticking. And I've got my green wicker rocker in my living room. You've probably seen that in one of my videos. And it has a chair pad, and with the seasons I change the cover on the pad, but I always just use, I like to use shams because I can just wrap it around it and tuck it in, and you don't even realize it's not an actual cushion. It covers it really well. So I'm going to use that this Christmas season, and I think that's going to be really cute. The other thing I found, and I don't know if you'll think this is weird or not, but I've kind of been eyeing old Bibles, and I picked up one last year, which I used in my Christmas tour video. But then the other day I was at the thrift store and I found a Norwegian Bible. And I just thought it was so neat, this little Bible. See? So it's Norwegian, and inside it has an inscription, but it says Oslo 1947, so I know that it's Norwegian, even though I don't read Norwegian. It was printed in Norway. Anyway, I just thought it was really neat to open this up, and it's 1947, I think is the inscription on it. Yeah, so it's yellowed, it's just, I don't know. I think it's really neat. And I was looking at the different scriptures that I'm familiar with, like John 3:16, we're all familiar with that, right? For God so loved the world. And it was really interesting to see that in another language. And so also, I just realized this, look what's inside. 4 things God wants you to know. It's a tract. This is so great. This was from the American Tract Society. I don't know what year this was printed, but my guess is probably it's from the 50s or 60s maybe. I don't know. I thought this was pretty neat. I didn't even realize it was in there till just now. So anyway, I got that Bible. Then also, I found this red Bible, which is like brand new. And it's a NIV, it's a thin line Bible, so the print is a little bit smaller. But I thought it was so pretty. I really like it. red. So I think that's everything I got at the thrift store. I wanted to give you an update on my nephew Jim. I know you've been praying for him, and I really appreciate that, as well as praying for Israel. So I spoke with my sister-in-law today, and the latest is that on November 27th, they are going to remove one kidney. They're also going to remove tumors that are in his esophagus and his upper stomach. And that's just to buy him time. So that's coming up. My brother and sister-in-law traveled to their winter home in another state, and he lives there full-time with his wife. My nephew does. So he drove to see them. It's quite a drive, but he wanted to spend some time with them, and also wanted to play golf with his dad for one more time. And and he wants to see the Christmas lights. He wants to be alive to see the Christmas lights. So very heart-wrenching. Thank you for your prayers. I truly appreciate it. I wanted to share a scripture verse that's been giving me a lot of comfort right now as we go through this with my nephew. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, beginning in verse 16. So we do not lose heart. Though our outer self is wasting away, our inner self is being renewed day by day. For this light, momentary affliction is preparing for us an eternal weight of glory beyond all comparison, as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, but the things that are unseen are eternal. And that's what I try to focus on and to internalize, is that everything that's happening right now with my family, with my nephew especially, is transient. It's going to pass. He's going through some suffering right now, but his eternal glory is set before him. He knows the Lord. He's going to spend eternity with him. That's the hope that he has. That's the hope that we have as we travel through this with him. And I have to hang on to that. There's been so many losses in our family. I could enumerate them, but I won't. I will just tell you that as Christians, this is what keeps us going. This is what gives us hope and gets us through these really difficult times, like the one that Jim is going through right now. I just am so convinced that God loves us and that he has a plan, and that there is a reason for this that is far beyond anything that I can comprehend or understand, or any of us can. We just have to trust in the Lord and his goodness, and he is so good. He is blessed. My brother says all the time, we are blessed. We are so blessed. So if he can say that while his oldest son is going through stage 4 cancer, I think that says it all, that he knows the hope that lies before Jim, the hope that lies before our whole family, and those that we know that love the Lord and are following him. So if you are going through something hard right now, I want to encourage you with these same scriptures. I hope that they will be an encouragement to you. If you don't yet know Jesus and are walking with him, I pray that you will, because honestly, it's the best life you can possibly have. It doesn't mean that everything's going to go great, smooth, and wonderful. Anyone that tells you that to bring you to the Lord is not being honest, because honestly, since I became a Christian, I would say there's been more hurt and tragedy in my life than before. But that's not God's doing. That's just life in general. And knowing God and following Him, knowing Jesus and loving Him and following His word and having His encouragement in my life is so critical to my joy. That even with everything that's going on, our family has joy. Jim has joy. You know, he wants to see the Christmas lights one more time. How sweet. You know, that he can be thinking that way. And then to accept what the Lord has brought into his life without complaining, knowing that God is sovereign and that He has a plan for each of us. So I don't want to make this a sermon. I just want to share some thoughts that I have with you. And to, again, thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love that you shower on me with your comments. Thank you so much for supporting my channel and for just being the wonderful people that you are. And I love you, and I'm so glad that I'm here to communicate with you and to hopefully encourage you, as you certainly encourage me. So it's Thanksgiving Day here. I'm finishing this up this morning before I head out to my sons for dinner later today. And I hope that wherever you are, God is blessing you and that you feel His love and compassion. So God bless you. I'll see you again soon.